welcome to ANX Quickcast, a 10-minute recap of the latest gaming updates, anime news, and TV series. I'm Unbiased Ann, I'm here with Genesis.
What up?
On today's episode, we're talking about Loki Season 2, Episode 2, Breaking Bad. Before we get started, you got any news?
No, just the normal updates for this one. Gotta plug our show, our main show. This is a quick 10-minute update on certain things that we watch. But we do have a full podcast, a big long podcast. We'd appreciate it if y'all give it a shot, check it out, give it a listen. It's called ANX Gamecast, so you can find it here on Aversion TV. Also, again, we want to welcome all the new subscribers. It's been a big influx over the past couple of weeks. We do appreciate you being here, and to show our appreciation, a reminder, probably on this Friday. Don't ask me what the date is. The 10th? The 10th. The day that Call of Duty comes out. How about that?
Okay, that works.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 release date. We will do a giveaway. We're thinking about doing a $100 PlayStation Network card. So all those details will come on that day. Before we get started with this particular episode, we want everybody to join the comment section and let us know. Episode 2, Breaking Brad.
Yeah.
I think I said it right,
Yeah,
but it didn't sound
right.
but it didn't sound right. Breaking Brad, did you like that episode? Yes or no? Tell us why. Whatever.
Just give us something.
Give us the feedback. We want it. We're letting you know how we feel about what we're about to anyway. We want to know how you feel. Let's get into it.
Unbiased Ann.
What you got?
Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
There's a lot going on in this episode.
Is it?
I don't know.
There?
I'm kind of confused.
So it's just like, I feel like there was a whole lot of nothing going on in this episode, as far as like there was not a lot of progression. There are like big things that happen, like Sylvie is back at TVA and blah blah blah, right? So that is like a major development, but then that's the only thing that happened that was meaningful, I guess.
Well, I'm just like, to me, I just felt like there's I guess I wasn't quite understanding everything that was going on. It's like, okay, this about to have this temporal meltdown. Can't get in the the access is denied.
Okay.
This General Dox is out murdering millions of people.
So let's billions, right?
Billions.
So let's break that down a little bit. So here's what's kind of weird about what's going on. I think it's a little cheap. I think they probably could have done better. So basically, like, the roles are reversed from season one. Season one, you had TVA trying to track down Loki.
Right.
And in this season, you have Loki helping a branch of TVA track down variant Loki. So it's just kind of cheap writing there. I kind of feel like that's cheap writing. You're kind of telling the same story, just with different
reverse.
with different players.
Right.
However, there's an internal civil war of sorts going on with the TVA. Half the TVA is down for pruning, and I'll explain that in a second. And the other half is like, nah, we got to stop pruning. So basically, in the first season, the TVA stood for like a branch that went after like anomalies that things that weren't supposed to happen, that broke, like, time and space, right?
Yeah.
This wasn't supposed to happen. It branched out into its own thing. We had to go stop and fix it, put it back the way it was. In this season, or the end of last season, we find out that what that actually consists of is, yes, there's a branch, a new reality being formed. However, those are people. Those are people now that have lives and been living lives and blah, blah, blah. So now there's a struggle of, we got to continue to do that or there will be chaos. And then there's like, well, we can't keep killing the people. Right. But then there's also a situation where it's like, well, we've been doing that really to keep Kang under control. Because if you allow hundreds and thousands of branches and you don't prune them, right, then there would be hundreds and thousands of Kangs. And then that would really be a big problem. Yeah. So that's kind of what's going on here. I don't know if that helped you any, but.
Yeah, because I was a little lost. I was just like, wow, what is happening?
Yeah.
Because I remember in the last episode, I think they were building up this docs, this General Docs, like she was against what they were trying to do.
Right.
So I was like, okay, this makes sense now. I see what she's doing. But I was just getting a little lost on kind of what was occurring here. So, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So one thing I did like about this episode is that we got to see some of Loki's powers, which was definitely missing from season 1, right? Because he was in TVA most of the time. I can't remember if it was the collar on the neck or it was just being in TVA in general. I can't remember. However, he could not use his powers, right?
I think it was the collar.
I think it might have been both.
Yeah, probably. It probably was both.
Because while they were using him going around looking for whatever they were looking for, he still really couldn't use his power. So I think that's definitely something that was missing from season 1 that they've now added into this one. Things that are also missing from, like Miss Minutes. They talk about her.
Yeah.
Missing that, like it's a clear thing that's missing that I really liked from season 1. They need to hurry up and reincorporate her back into the season.
Yeah, for sure. So what about this temp? What do they call it?
The 10 pad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he modified it so he can. It seems like he can jump time or he can do something. They haven't really announced on the show what he did to it.
Yeah.
But that's what they're trying to figure out, and how was that in connection with how did he know where Sylvie was in connection with what he did to that? I'm not even sure if that matters anymore because again she's back. Well, she came back to TVA and she left again.
Right. She's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, but it's kind of clear that she would be more on board than not at this point.
Well, I will say this. I didn't really like this episode, but I feel like I didn't like it for different reasons than you didn't like it.
Okay, well, what you got?
Well, I mean, I just didn't like it because I was confused.
Oh, okay.
I just was like, I just don't understand what's happening. There's too much, in my mind, there was too much going on because I was kind of confused. Probably in your mind, you didn't like it because nothing was happening.
Really, at the end of the day, nothing
right,
was
at
really
the end
happening.
of the day.
Yeah.
But I was happy to see OB again. I really like his character. There's just something about him I really like.
Yeah, his character was cool, but it wasn't a lot of him. It was more of the X5 character, long monologues, all that, And the other thing I didn't like about this is I'm not really feeling hero Loki. In this particular episode, it is
weird.
He was hero Loki for the whole time, even when he was being bad Loki, villain Loki. But it was an act, and I knew it was an act.
Yeah.
Every single time he did it.
Right.
Right. So it was just like, I'm not really feeling it. He's always been that tweener.
Right.
Like I'm good, but I'm really bad. I'm bad, I'm really good. But so I'm not really feeling this 100% good guy.
It is weird to see him like this. But man, I think he's a good actor.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's like a really good actor.
Yeah, he showed almost all the range in this episode except for maybe sadness.
Yeah.
But he even showed, some empathy or, at the end when everybody was sad that, billions and billions of people had just died and they were kind of watching it on the screen happening in real time. So he showed the empathy there. He showed whatever weirdness was going on with Sylvie when he first saw her, that little weird energy.
Yeah. Watery eyes.
Yeah. He showed the rage. He showed the villain. He showed everything, pretty much almost everything in this episode.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm used to hating him, Loki. It like in other, like Thor and Avengers and stuff, he's always the bad guy. But now I'm like, I'm starting to like him.
Well, I mean, that's the point.
That's the point. Yeah. It's working.
Yeah.
It's working on me, probably not you.
Yeah, they also sprinkled in a little bit of Avengers talk, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Especially when you bring some Avengers talk back when they was talking about his mama, your mama. That was so long ago now. It's just like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Right. So this one did not have end credit scene.
Oh yeah.
So, whatever. It didn't leave us on much of a cliffhanger. It was just kind of like some things were figured out and we'll see you next week. So I don't really know about that. But main thing I like though, McDonald's.
The cool, like 1980s.
Well, the fact that it was, and I talked about this Weathering with You, or was it Your Name?
Yeah.
I can't remember, but it had real product placement in that anime. I know this is not an anime,
Yeah.
and I know they've had real product placement in some of these movies, Iron Man, Audi, right, being one of the main ones, right? But generally speaking, you don't get this kind of stuff. You got Blockbuster and Captain Marvel, right, which was cool.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, you don't get this. So this was really cool to see McDonald's name brand.
Blockbuster, that would be dope.
Well,
Okay.
Blockbuster was in Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So McDonald's and, this was like really dope to me.
Yep.
Like,
I will say this one last thing,
Okay.
because I know we're about out of time.
okay.
I love the set design. Like when OB was trying to plug in the big old contraption that he fixed. The set design, again, it kind of was like, this reminds me of old Star Trek. I was like, I love it.
Wait, is that
This.
like how old we talking?
I don't know.
You talking about 60s Star Trek? You talking about
Yes.
90s? You talking about 80s Star Trek?
No, like
you talking about
60s.
90s? You talking about early 2000s?
No, 60s. It looks old, but it
Okay.
looks cool.
Yeah, a lot of this always had that kind of retro-ish feel to
Yeah.
it.
I mean, even Miss Minutes has a retro
even,
feel.
even the cinematography here, that kind of weird old school glow that it has to it.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't hurt that this particular episode started off in 1972.
Yeah.
Which also has me having questions here because the last episode ended in 1982, where Sylvie is, and this one started in 1972. So it's just like,
What's going on?
how did that happen? I'm guessing they're going to have to explain that at some point.
Yep. All right, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for listening to ANX Quickcast. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we release new episodes. See you next week.
Y'all click some of these videos. They're somewhere around here on the screen, I think. And again, for the rest of the week,
Somewhere.
Mortal Kombat still sucks.